Welcome back. In this video, I want to add a static mesh component to our base character class. This is going to be more or less just a placeholder for now, just to hold of different shape for our hero and enemy, so that when we have them in the level and we're trying to differentiate or do different actions to the different ones, that we can tell the difference. And I don't want to get bogged down into character selection and animations right now. I just want like a cube and a triangle, and we're going to go with that. Um, Now, before I go there, because we'll do that in C++, I kind of made one thing I want to correct is when we created our C++ character classes, we got our character base, right? And then we derived from that our hero character and our enemy character. So that's all good. But what I didn't need to do was in the blueprints, having a blueprint for the coming off of the hero character is fine, and coming off of the enemy character is fine. It's this one off the character base, because its parent is the character is our character base C++ class. These actually come off of a different class, so adding anything to this doesn't actually propagate up to these other blueprints. So this particular blueprint I'm going to delete. Get rid of that, and these ones will still be fine. So that's good. So I'm going to just save all there, and I'm going to go over into C++, and in our character base, um, we want to make, first of all, I'm going to fix a couple of things here. Um, what am I going to fix? I want to move these two functions. I'm going to cut them from there, and I'm going to put them up into this public section. I like going public, protected, and then private. And then this public section, I like to just put a comment here, and I say for getters and setters, if I ever put anything in there, just to help a little bit of organization. I don't mind these some of these comments that are defaulted in here, because it helps me remember certain ones. Although begin play is very obvious for me, and that one is fine, and tick is obviously very self-explanatory. I like leaving the set this for basic properties. So what I want to do then is in the private section, I want to make a T object pointer. And now I'm no expert in any of this stuff. Just remember, this is just as I've been learning stuff. So I want to make a U static mesh component. I'm going to call that temp mesh. Okay. And I'm going to make that a U property of edit anywhere. And I'm gonna just leave it like that. I don't think it needs a category because I'm gonna ultimately delete this in the future. Maybe we put it in the category. Category equals temporary data, something like that. Like I said, it's not gonna be around forever. Um, so I think that's fine. I'm thinking this is a base component. If I look at that one, um, yeah, well, we'll see if it compiles or not, if there's any problem with it. I'm surprised you don't have to forward declare it, but it seems to have understood what that is. I'm going to save that and go into our character base. And we need to create that. So at the top here in our constructor, I'm going to get rid of this. We will want our character to be able to tick, so that's fine. Um, so in our constructor, I'm going to take, what did I call it? Temp mesh. Not a very great naming convention, but it's good for now. Temp mesh, and we're going to equal that to a create a default sub-object of type static mesh component, and then we give it a name. I'm going to call it temp mesh. I'm going to call it maybe temp simple character. How's that? And do I need to do anything else for that? I'm gonna just leave it like that. I'm learning as I go. Sometimes in a lot of tutorial videos, everybody just puts everything in and you go, oh, I don't know why I had to do that. So since I'm going through this for the first time, this is what I'm doing for now. So the expectation then is if when we rebuild this and recompile this, this temp mesh should show up in our blueprints. So I'm going to close the editor for that one. I'm going to close the editor for actually for this other copy I've got open. And we are going to first see if we can build this. And I'm just going to pause it while it does that. Okay, so that compiled. That's great. Let's launch the editor with our new temp mesh added. See what we get. If I go into here, and if I open our hero character and go into our blueprint, there's our temp mesh. That's cool that it worked. And if I look at the viewport, there it is. That's good. It's attached, I guess, to the capsule component, which is perfect. And I'm going to assign our hero. Let's make him a sphere of some sort. How about, yeah, it's pretty big. How about that? Here's our character. He's a strapping guy. Let's just get him a little bit more inside his capsule. Maybe he's an egg. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm not gonna mess with the capsule at this point because, like I said, he's just is what he is. And so I'm gonna compile that and save. And then I'm going to go into our enemy character and let's look at him. He's got a temp mesh and our enemy cube, circles versus cubes. So he can be a cube. Let's take a look at him. Let's get him down to size a little bit. So maybe he's oops. So maybe he'll be a tall rectangle. Perfect. Compile and save. So that's done. That's good. Um, Perfect. So we can we can pull some of those into our workshop level. And drop him down. I don't know why I don't see him there. Oh, maybe because these were compiled and saved. Compile and save. So that's our hero character. Didn't quite work out the way I thought. Let's bring our enemy in. And if I push play, yeah, there's nothing there. I'm going to pause and figure that out. So what we want to do here is get my temp mesh, and we want to call, I believe it is set up attachment, and I want to give it the capsule component. Capsule, get capsule component. Might not like this. I think I have to include the components slash capsule component.h. The chance here, no, it doesn't seem to want that. Developer scene. Don't you just hate that? There it goes. It just took a IntelliSense a bit there to figure it out. Okay, so if we save this and rebuild our template, should go quicker this time. There it goes. And now let's start, and we'll see if we get this playing the way we want to play. We might need to reset those shapes that we put in, but we'll check that right here. So there's our temp mesh. It's got our cube. Let's look in our viewport just so we know, okay, that looks good. And our heroes, Mr. Egg. And if I go into my content browser, oops, I was looking around at stuff, go into the blueprint, characters, and get my hero and drag him into the workshop. And there he is, perfect. And if I grab my enemy and bring him in, perfect. Okay, a little learned thing there. Perfect. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna save that. What was the next thing on my list here? So let's add a spring arm and a camera to our hero. So in a similar fashion, and we'll do it smarter this time because we learned a few things. So we'll save all of this. I'm going to close out of this. And we could add those spring arms and cameras to the blueprint. Um, but when you add items only in the blueprint, they're not accessible in C++. So if you can add it in C++, then you have access to it in code, and then you also have access it in the blueprint if you expose it. So that's what we want to do. So I'm going to go into our hero character.h. Hero character.h. Yep. And it subs off of character base. Good. And so I want to create a, I just don't want to mess this up too much. I want to create, um, let's start with, I'm going to make my public section. I'm going to make a protected section and a private section. Excuse me, sorry. I'm going to make another, I'll look down here and I'm going to put my comment for getters and setters. And I'm going to make this private for now. Can always move it up later if we need wider access to it. I'm going to make a T object pointer. We're going to add the spring arm first. And that's going to be of type U spring arm component. And I'm going to call that camera boom. Boom. Okay, so we don't know what that is apparently. So we're going to go up into our includes. And I believe that's in components slash spring arm. Let me just take a look here. Oh no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that in the .h, sorry. We'll just forward declare a U spring arm component. Okay. This will be a U property so that it is part of the garbage collection and all that kind of good stuff. And we'll make it visible anywhere. And I'm going to put it in a category. I'm going to put it into camera. Okay. And while we're here, we're going to add our main camera here. So T object pointer, and it's going to be a new camera component. And we're going to call this one, I'm going to call it follow camera. That might change in the future, but again, the camera component we will forward declare as well. That should set up, and then I'm going to use this same U property here. So saving that. I think that's good for here. Now we'll go into our CPP file. And I guess first we need to make our constructor. So in our public section, in our .h file for our hero character, we need to do a hero character. And then we need to create that definition. And inside of here, we will start off with adding spring arm. So we're going to take camera boom and we'll do a create default subobject of U spring arm component, and we'll call it camera boom. That's the way it's going to show up in the editor. And then we'll go camera boom. We want to attach it to our capsule like we did the other one. Camera boom. Is it not happy here? Use spring arm. Okay, so because it doesn't know what use spring arm component is, so let's add that. So that is, I believe in that components forward slash spring arm component dot h. Spring arm component dot, oh, it's in game frameworks. Game framework spring arm component dot h. And while that set up, not attachment, just attachment, and get capsule component. We probably need the capsule component, so let's get that in here. That's in components. Uh, capsule component.h. And that'll figure itself out. Okay. Next thing we want to do is we can set a default length to our camera boom that can be obviously edited in Blueprint if needed. That's the target arm length. I'm going to make it equal to 500 float. So that's like 5 meters behind. So that'll be fine. And I'm going to just, I'm going to set its rotation up. Relative rotation. It takes an F rotator. And I'm going to say, looking down at say a 30-degree angle. And 0 dot F and 0 dot F. So we'll just make a rotator right in line with that and that. And I think this is a nice feature. This camera lag, just to keep things from just being jerky all over the place. Enable camera lag, and we'll set that equal to true. Okay. And now we just need to attach our actual camera to our camera boom. So let's attach camera to spring arm. So we're going to take our follow camera and we're going to create it first. So create default sub object, and that is a U camera component. And we'll call that one, we called that one follow camera, well, because that's what it's called. I like to keep that in editor as well. And then we need to attach that to our camera boom. So follow camera. So we want to set up attachment. And we're going to attach it to the camera boom. And we're going to attach it to the use spring arm component socket name. A little bit confused by that one. as I'm following along an example I've done before. Um, okay, I think I'm going to have to add the camera component in here. I think that's what is incomplete type here. So spring arm component, I'm going to include the camera component.h. Okay. Now there's a bunch of other settings as far as inheriting pitch and stuff like that, which I don't think I'm going to set here. Um, but we can always set them once we know what values that we want to keep. So we'll play with that for a minute. So let's build this. See if we got everything. Oh, failed. Do, do, do. Visible anywhere. It doesn't like my visible anywhere. Did I just spell it wrong? Yeah, visibile. We don't want visibile. We want visible. There we go. And let's try to build that again. Yay, and we're good to go there. Let's start it up. And we should see then on our hero character a camera. So if I go into my BP hero character and open this up, here's our camera, camera boom, and our follow camera. Yeah, camera boom and follow camera. So in our camera boom, here's our target arm length was set 5 meters. Again, some socket offsets and things. Here's our rotation is down, looking down 30 degrees. And if I look in the viewport, that's what it looks like. Might be a little steep, eh? um, good. If I go into my workshop and I push play, nothing's going to happen because these we don't have a player controller set up, and it doesn't know which hero should be the startup guy. So that's fine. Um, in here, under if I go into window world settings, and if I expand my game mode, it's probably what we should make next is a specific game mode so that we can um, set a default pawn and player controllers and all those kinds of good things. So I'm going to leave it there. So we've added some shapes to our enemies. We got a camera and a camera boom on, and we learned a thing or two. I did, anyways. I probably bored you guys too silly, but that's okay. You can fast forward. Anyways, like, subscribe if you like it. In the next video, let's just look at a quick look at my list here. We added a temp static mesh to our base class. We put a solid shape in for each of them. We added a spring arm and a camera. Yeah, so I think next, just so that we can see through the camera, maybe we make the player controller and a player state. And that'll get us into creating some movement, and so that we can then start to drive our hero around a little bit, and then we will be on to um, I guess starting to add some more interesting things, like the start adding the gas setup, and I don't know when the HUD might follow a little bit later, but yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.